I'm Grizzly Greg. Hit that thumbs up button. Drop a comment. Always smash that subscribe button. Thank you to my sponsor, Pandemic Performance. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and pandemicperformance.com for all your performance needs. Enjoy the video. Oh, doing a little maintenance on the Grizzly. As you can obviously see, a couple things here. I actually ordered a EHS fuel programmer. I'm ripping out my HMF. I'm gonna throw an EHS on there. That's the first thing I got ordered. Second thing on the docket here is to pull this radiator rest of the way. Obviously I got that hose off already, draining the antifreeze. Got some pads that soak up everything underneath there to keep everything from spilling all over the place, but soak that in the bathtub with some hot water and give her a good pressure wash tomorrow. And then my fan was sounding pretty grody. Bearings are going out. After every mud run, I need to stick my hand in back here and push down on the fin to bust it loose because it seizes up. And it's time for a new one. I just looked back at my records. I changed it in like January 2021. So see, I bought this thing. I got like 5 years out of the first one, and I got 4 years, almost 5 years again out of this one. So yeah, I'm about 5 years a pop for these fans. That's kind of the way she goes. So, but getting to the radiator, there's nothing rocket science on this. You just got to find the bolts and plastic rivets and rip them apart. But on top of that, I'm gonna change the front diff oil, change the rear diff oil, and then got a new fan coming, new fuel programmer. Yeah, other than that, that's about all I got cooking here for garage vlog number 4 here. But I can actually stick a light back here, do the old light test. I don't know if the GoPro will pick it up. Oh yeah, GoPro picks it up. You can see the light comes through it. So the radiator is actually not even that bad, which is surprising. But I definitely got, you can see where it's really caked in right here in the corners. Oh yeah, there's dirt in there, but yeah, it's actually relatively pretty clean considering what I put this thing through. So, but I've had this is a thicker radiator from Amazon. You can see how thick that is. I don't know if you can tell how thick the my bull buck from last year, by the way. You can see how thick the stock one is. So there's a little bit of modifications. You probably can see a video that I uploaded a few years back if you search my channel on the modifications I had to do to this in order to make it fit. So it's not too bad, but it seems like the machine's been running a lot cooler. Fan barely turns on anymore. So that was an Amazon one. So I think overall, I think I'd recommend the Amazon radiator. The biggest issue is it comes with this extra port right here. But I had a buddy of mine who's got every certification in welding possible take it to his shop, and it's an extra nipple for like an extra breather or something. I really don't know, but I had him basically cut it off and just weld it shut. So he did an awesome job. And then for this breather line, where the heck is it? It's this one right here. This is the stock line. You got to really stretch that over to get it to go on, but it does go on. So other than that, yeah, I'd highly recommend one of them Amazon aftermarket thicker radiators. Seems to be really working well for this Grizzly. But yeah, let's finish getting this out, and I'll kind of put 12 volt to that fan, and I'll show you guys how bad it sounds. It doesn't sound good. Stay tuned. Oh, I also forgot one thing about this aftermarket Amazon radiator. These are the studs with these little rubber grommets that are built in. This is the radiator, aluminum right here, and this is the rubber grommet you got to put in. I cut these little foam pieces and shoved them in here because you see how there's a gap right here between the back wall here? Well, that helps push this radiator back. Otherwise, it always wanted to sit out here, and I didn't like that. So, made a couple little foam spacers to push in here and kept it tight against that. plastic wall here. So another quick little tip. And if you don't know where to get that foam, I really don't know where to go either, but anytime I just have little chunks of stuff. Like here's some poly stuff that I might use someday, and a couple chunks of rubber. Just chunks, random chunks of shit. When you're buying cheap Amazon products, stuff never fits quite right, like more times than not, and there's always a little bit of modifications you need to make. So having a little trinkety stuff like that laying around the shop is always a good thing. Yeah, so overall, it didn't sound bad. Yeah, there's definitely something in there. Might be a good spare. I just got to looking at the front here, and I was noticing my lift kit. So, I mean, I kind of bent it back now, but I'm going to need to add a little bead of weld there, because it started cracking. See that? That crack was quite a bit, quite a large gap there. So yeah, we're gonna just give it a little tack there tomorrow morning at work while I'm doing that. Because too many wheelies, woo, boom, just coming down so hard all the time. Gotta pay to play. There, I got the rear diff oil changed. There's a drain plug on the bottom. Here's where you fill this diff brace. You know, the Hunter ones off that he machines, he has a access hole to put the extension through, but Into Deep, who is pretty much going out of business now, I bought this. I was one of the last customers that actually got one. You can actually fit your extension right in to the side of here. They have it machined at an angle here, so you can get a socket on that. And you basically fill it up. You take this little screw out right there, and you basically fill it up until the oil starts coming out of there, and then you stop. And the easiest way that I have found to fill these diffs sometimes is with one of these. If you don't have one of these, I would recommend one. You can also use a pump too. Sometimes the pump works better when you really want to go fast, but that's only usually when I use, like, when I'm filling up my Razor transmission or something that takes 2.5 quarts. Easier just to keep pumping it. Takes a lot less time. This though, like basically 1 1/3 or 1 1/4 of these fills up that rear diff of a Grizzly, so it's just easier to use one of that. So yeah, other than that, I think just gonna add a little bead of weld to that crack right there. Front diff was kind of, the oil coming out of the front diff was pretty grody, so we're gonna let that drip overnight. Let that drip overnight, and we'll fill that back up in the morning. And I'll put that bracket back on when I get home from work tomorrow morning. I'm on call this weekend, so I can't go do nothing fun. Yeah. And then I'm gonna grease the rear end. Engine oil was just changed a month ago, so probably won't do that. And then hopefully we're good to go for the winter. The only other thing I might do is right before the spring, when mud really starts hitting, I might pop the CVT apart and just kind of go through that and make sure there ain't nothing totally wonky with that, but that probably won't be until middle of February. So, but yeah, thanks for watching this garage vlog, and till next time, I'll probably do another one when I start kind of putting this up. You see how, actually, speaking of that, you see how nice the front is. I can actually get the front pretty good, but then when you look at the back here, I don't know if you can notice. Oh yeah, you can tell on camera. It's freaking just, you can see all this, all the dirt. Try getting all that out, but overall, for 2 years, I haven't cleaned this in 2 years. It's looks good. I definitely have done my due diligence trying to keep this radiator clean, keep this bad boy running cool. So, but yeah, everybody have a good night. I'll have this uploaded tomorrow.